Hi, it's Mizzy again. I've been doing some Christmas stuff, and I thought I'd show you kind of what I have. Um, this is the last of the Christmas stuff, and it goes essentially most of it to a commissioned order. But I wanted to kind of document these since I didn't really document a lot of the last ones. Um, these are elves and some Santas. I got a reindeer here. Here, let me see if I can put this down. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see these guys. All right. I've got Vixen here. Let's put him up against the wood so you can see what he looks like. Can you see what he looks like? Oh, yeah, you can see. I made him out of like these little, I like these little legs. They're little typewriter keys. And I made sure I got V for Vixen. And like all pieces that I do now, I have a piece of my old life kind of salvaged from the ashes of the house. And it would be these forks and this little piece right here. Also this little, it was like dog tag necklace chain or whatever. And basically with these, for those of you who are trying to, kind of want to make some of these sort of things yourself, I don't really use patterns. I just kind of sit down and do them. I like movement in these pieces. I don't like them to look stick figure-ish. So on this one, I just kind of cut out what I thought was just the blank that looked, like he was really, had some motion to him. And, stitched him, and I stuffed him with basically rippings of my children's t-shirts, because after twin boys get done with t-shirts, you can't really give those to people or donate them anywhere. And I originally, before the fire, I have made a few of these kind of deer, and I usually use little branches that I find, and we don't really have any branches. We don't have any trees anymore, so I decided, well, I'm going to try these forks, and I like the way that they look. Just bend them around with some pliers and stuff. But when I did, they were pretty thick in this neck, and it bulked this neck out too wide. And also, I wanted it to be sturdier, because when you put something this heavy on something that, the neck was so thin, I want these things to last. I don't want, them, people buy them, they get them home, and in 6 months its head would be all flopped over. That would not be cool. So in this instance, you just kind of sometimes think around a problem. And I took a piece of a little scrap of leather that I had. I turned it inside out so it's got more of the suede on it. And I didn't just wrap it. I wrapped it like all the way around, so it has like an overlap. So there's some texture there. And put this little thing on. I thought it looked kind of like a buckle. And then its little, I'll scoot you back over here. Then its little stand. I make stands for several of my things. I like flying things. And these stands I'm making out of what used to be my children's bed in the old house. And then I saved it. Well, I saved it back, and then when the Extreme Makeover people did our house, they understood that I could use a lot of this stuff, and so they thankfully saved it. And I like the way that it kind of moves. So you can get it to kind of moving a little bit, and I just like that. All right, here, let me show you a few more of these little guys. I did a lot of elves this year. Let me grab another one. The majority of my stuff I have already sold for this year, and these are actually pretty well spoken for as well. But I didn't document the other ones very well, and I had some really, really cute ones. I go through phases where I do certain things. And there are more typewriter keys. I really got into those. I got an old typewriter for just, like $15 or something, and I just took it apart, and it's got a million little pieces to use. And, you know, like this one has, you see the number 2 in there? It's got the number 2 in his eye. He's mad because he's not number 1. The outside of the eye, the main part of the eye, is actually the butt of a shotgun shell that was also found in the ashes. And then he's got like a little collar of an old necklace, also found after the fire. And let's see. And I've got a couple of little cute ones. I really like this one. If I didn't need money so bad, I'd probably keep this one. He just looks real sweet, and he looks like a little forlorn. Yeah, I just kind of like that one. And he's small. I like the way his little legs kind of bend out just a little bit, so he's not like a little sticky figure. Once again, you see how his head is kind of cocked to one side. I think when you do a piece of art, if you can maybe not put things straight up and down. Very, very few of my pieces have, you know, where they're looking straight on at you in the center of their body. You can kind of see on the back, you know, kind of how I put it together back there. And I was going to give him a hat, but I think that he looks like, almost like he's lost his hat and he's really sad and he's just about to give up. But then he's going to find his hat and then he's going to get really happy. Nice. And I've got kind of a not very traditional type Santa here. His legs are Allen wrenches out of the fire. His arms are nails. And then I found this little, I don't know if you can see this part where his eye is. It's really cool though. I like this little piece right here. I think it came out of the computer. It was just like a big, like, looked like a log or something. And when I smacked all the ashes out of it, I noticed it had these little perforations, and it looked kind of lacy to me, so it was almost like a gear, kind of industrial, but a little girly in its way, you know. And when I kind of flink them apart, I have about 1 million of them, so I'm really stoked about that. And then the top part of his head came from another firefighter's house that burned, and I think that that was a piece, this was half of a piece of a semi-automatic weapon, actually. We live out in the woods, you know, we all have our hobbies. And then there's this one. She's so ugly, she's cute. She's got the holiday. She's teetering on the edge of holiday madness. Ah! I feel like that sometimes. And not just with the holidays. And then there's like a little sweet girl. She's like a little candy cane girl, a little Christmas girl. She's kind of bouncy and happy. And I got this Santa. I did actually take him to a show, but I haven't decided if I'm keeping him for a while. It says wish inside. Do you see that? Wish. I think everything's going to be backwards on this because I'm doing it with the laptop, but oh well. And he's got little things that came out of the toolbox after it burned. You know, and I take these little things. Oh, and the hair. Did you see the hair? This was like the wiring that came out of the house. And it was, you know, pretty gnarly, but I thought it made a really good beard and hair for that Santa. And then there's, oh, one more. This one's kind of almost like a little hippie elf. He's got a little suede hat, and he's number 89. All right. I like to use pieces that came from the fire. Because a lot of those things are memories, you know? And like the hoop earring. I mean, it was just an old junky earring, but you know, there was very few recognizable bits, and I really wanted to save them and put them to some good use. And I like the patination that they get. You know, the fire burned off, you know, any of the galvanization and, you know, any of the electroplating that had been on all of these little bits. And so I, you know, left them outside for quite a while, and they developed. This one has kind of a green because there was some copper in it apparently, and there's some rust. So, you know, I'm not a chemist. I don't really know what it was made out of. I'm just making this up, but that's kind of what I think. And like this little guy, just the little bottom piece. I like to include these things because I loved all this stuff, and I loved the house you know, and I miss it a lot. And this just reminds me of it. And it means really that my house isn't really gone, that I can put these little bits and pieces that I find into these little happy guys, and they can go live at people's houses and make them happy. And it's like my house isn't really gone. It's just different. And now it gets to go live all over the world and be happy. All right, Vixen. Say goodbye to the folks. And this is Christmas 2013. Thanks. Merry Christmas.